Disney, you son of a bitch. You did it again. You have seemed to take another beloved franchise and completely ruin it. But honestly, is anyone surprised about that? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Before we get into anything, if you enjoy my content and you want to see more, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Willow has officially started streaming on Disney Plus. And the only question I have is, did anyone ask for this? The original film was a classic made back in the 80s, and it was well received among the audience. And believe it or not, it was actually a Lucasfilm property, which is why Disney can ruin it now, because they own everything.
Disney isn't ruining the franchise, they're just modernizing it.
Oh God, I hate modern day Hollywood. Why can't we just leave beloved movies and franchises alone? If you want to make a woke TV show, that's completely fine. No one's stopping you. But why do you have to reimagine a movie from the 80s? Just make your own original stories. Why can't you do that? Oh, right. Because there's evidence it will bomb in the box office. Huh. Interesting. But let's get back to the Willow series, and let's talk about how it's the first true Disney Plus series to center around a queer story. Their quote, not mine. Wait, is this really the first Disney Plus series with a queer story? I thought Obi-Wan Kenobi was gay, or was he bisexual? Or did he like kitchen utensils? Anyways, Polygon sat down with creator Jonathan Krasden, who had this to say. There was no pushback. What's interesting is, I hope and I believe we're at a moment where you're going to see a paradigm shift in that. And hopefully, the way that it's going to happen is these kinds of queer stories, particularly like this one, that were just organic to the narrative we were telling, find their way in, and it becomes less of a surprising and unusual thing to see. Listen, people don't care if your character is gay, straight, queer, lesbian, pansexual, non-pansexual, non-stick pansexual, bigender, multigender, pangender, creative, gender expansive, gender outlaw. Just give us a good story. That's all we want. I feel like a lot of people keep telling the writers and producers that they want a good story and not to be hit over the head with politics. And the writers and producers are just like,
No, you're getting a mediocre story with a bunch of LGBTQIA plus A CG characters in it.
I love how Jonathan Krasden says the queer story is organic, and I have a hard time believing that. And I'm sure the cast is so diverse and has so much representation. Isn't it funny? This seems to be like a typical Disney template for movies now. See, in the old Disney films, it always seemed like the dad died or the mom died, and the main character has to deal with that. But in new Disney films, it seems like the main character has to deal with picking one of the million genders there are. Huh. It's becoming very clear to me that Disney is going through their IPs, picking out the ones that aren't politically correct anymore, or aren't woke enough, or aren't diverse enough, and just reimagining them. And they will not stop till everything is smeared with this woke agenda. And essentially, you know, they're destroying the past, which is fantastic. And it's very clear that they're putting this agenda in because they've literally said it.
Our leadership over there has been so welcoming to my not at all secret gay agenda. And so I was just wherever I could, just basically adding queerness to if you see anything queer in the show, I'm proud family. But I just was like, no one would stop me.
I mean, to be fair, it is kind of smart on Disney's part because they don't have to write anything new. They could just rehash and reuse old storylines. Plus, they get the nostalgia bucks, and of course it appeases the mob on Twitter. But honestly, I don't think it's going to work out for them in the long term, because I believe audiences are realizing that all these new movies are hot garbage. I mean, just take a look at Willow's audience score already. Maybe that will change, you know, maybe at the end of the series there's a big push for Christianity and Trump somehow. All in all I want to say is I think we should leave older franchise and IPs alone. If you want to make gay movies, that's fine. Just be original. And if you want to captivate the audience with gay movies, here's a tip for you. write good stories. Why do you think all those movies in the 80s and 90s have such a cult following? Because there's interesting characters, interesting stories, and there's really no forced politics. And even when there is politics in these movies, it feels organic, you know? Like it's part of the story. So just hire good writers and directors for these films instead of hiring activists and people who only want to push a message. Okay, there's my rant on Willow and, you know, Disney reimagining these old franchises. But of course, I want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. If you want to see any one of my other videos, please be sure to click on this playlist right here. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.